You want to say hi?
Good morning.
Good
How's
morning.
everything going out there?
How's it going out there? Thanks again for tuning in. Once again, we got another video that we're going to be following along and commentating on. This is a Flax epoxy build.
It's got everything on it.
That's right. And we're able to mix in color in the flax work, actually. And flax is an interesting material
Yeah,
that,
it gives it a really bitchin' effect. I mean, just watching that happen again,
yeah,
really cool. I love the way you manipulate the color on the board. And when we used to do splashes back in the day, was just pour the color on and just whip it, just smear it all over the place. And you have figured out how to control the color and where it goes and stuff, which is really cool.
yeah, thanks. And the epoxy is a little bit different to work with than the polyester resin, especially when it comes to color work. You
Definitely seems a little thicker.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be familiar with the epoxy, know how to move it around, and kind of like you were saying, manipulate the color work, and then also ensure proper satisfaction or saturation, rather,
Saturation, yeah.
because the flax is a bit thirsty. If you don't wet it all out real good, you can end up with some dry spots that just make for a subpar lamination,
Yeah.
I think.
And then also you have to cover the flax with another layer of cloth.
That's what we've been doing, yeah. A little
Yeah.
4 ounce layer of cloth that
I
you'll
mean,
see in the
I'm pretty sure
video.
we've done some without that.
Yeah, we
But
have.
I think in the sanding process, if you get too into the flax, it kind of tends to fuzz up a little bit, and then it makes the whole thing
Exactly.
harder to work on,
Yeah.
is all.
Well, we'll save it for the video. We do have the board right behind us here. This was built in May 2024. It's now September
September,
2025. So
crazy.
this board's been through a solid year and a half, through a solid Hawaii winter. It's been to Indonesia, it's been to El Salvador, and it's served me well. So we're going to start the video here.
There we go. This is my end of the deal.
And this is off of a design that we've really been working on a lot with Dylan Sloan. This is a high performance shortboard. I think we've nailed it up to this
I
stage.
think everyone that's ridden one sure seems to like it,
Yeah.
and that's across the board.
Yeah, we just got one to Maui boy James
James
McKenzie,
McKenzie.
and he's an absolute ripper. So we're stoked to get feedback from him, and it just reassured us that we're on the right path with this design.
There
And
you
like I
go.
said, I've been writing this design for the last 2.5 years, basically, before we were able to digitize it. And in this lamination, so one of our things with the Maui Leaf Lite construction is we're really into finding alternative materials. So underneath this flax, we actually have a hemp linen that
Yeah,
we've been using.
on almost that goes on every leaf light.
That goes on every Leaf Lite, exactly. And that's kind of the basis. We put it on the deck because we feel the deck needs the most structural integrity. And so being able to utilize these alternative materials like hemp and flax has been really fun, and it's been a good kind of research and
Man, the boards come out super durable.
yeah,
I
that's the
mean,
biggest part.
they just don't disintegrate, and they're not ultra mega light, although that could be achieved. But we're, I think, chasing more on the durability side.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on a board like this that we're watching being built right now, because this is my personal board. As we know, as board builders, you don't get as many personal boards as people may think. So it's really a good opportunity for me to try new layups, new materials, and build it to last,
Yeah,
because I want to put it through all its paces and make sure it can stand the test of time.
yeah.
So
And
just
around here, you need durability for, you know, there's lots of rocks, there's lots of reefs, there's, the surf's a little more consequential than a lot of places. You just, I would rather send out a board that lasts years instead of months. That's always been our goal.
And that's definitely always been our goal, and it's something that we've actually been known for, is making a board that will not fall apart in a few months. Many people actually come back to get new boards with their years old
Oh,
boards
yeah.
that are still kicking. And so that's really fun to see that you put in the extra quality, effort, and material and don't skimp in the process, and the boards hold up for a long time. And that's also an aim that we're going for with the Leaf Lite construction.
And that construction is basically we can do that across the board as far as any kind of board. I mean, we've done long boards. Both both of my long boards are Leaf Lite construction with Flax decks. Still in incredible condition.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not a little guy, and lately I've been falling on them a lot. I do all kinds of great, graceful stuff now in my surfing. So that part of the construction, I think, is proving itself to be a well thought out and well conceived construction method.
And so on the deck, you noticed I just did clear epoxy. Actually, with the bottom here, I had some epoxy left over from a previous lamination, and whenever I can, I try to use leftover epoxy so that it doesn't go to waste. This stuff is not cheap. It is expensive, and so I will try to make it stretch as much as I can. Like I was saying with the Flax, you can't try to skimp too much on the epoxy because the Flax is super thirsty material. So you'll see there is a lot of resin coming off the rail, but it's kind of necessary to get full saturation of the lap, because this lap will be wrapping all the way around to the deck of the board, unlike the first deck cap that I did where I cut it off at the tuck. But you can see
it's funny how when we first started doing this, we can't wrap this stuff. It's not going to wrap. Well, God, there's all these problems, and he's figured out how to do it, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's still a work in progress. Not everything comes out absolutely perfect, but we're definitely figuring out
We're
our
making
methods.
progress, yes, for sure.
And as you can see, the epoxy with the color, it really holds well. It doesn't muddy as much as polyester resin, which is very interesting to realize. And it's really cool just because it holds kind of the true design that you started off with as far as color.
Yeah, when the color gets on the cloth, either Flax or fiberglass, there it is. It doesn't spread around too much, which is nice.
So here we're just getting ready to trim the lap, and the key that I figured out with epoxy laminations, especially when it comes to trimming a lap, is timing is everything. You can't wait till it's gone off so much that it's brittle and cracking. You got to get it when it's a little bit still soft, not tacky, but still soft. There's like a 15-minute period between where it's not tacky and it's not hard, and it allows you to get a real clean cut.
It's something that you kind of have to figure out over time, because it's almost like everyone's a little bit different as well.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
the color retards the cure.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it just clear, it's going to kick a little quicker and get a little harder, a little faster. So it just comes with doing the reps.
Yeah, and with any resin work, the temperature, the ambient temperature of the epoxy and the ambient temperature of the working space has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And so just being aware of what's going to work, or how, what to expect from the resin. But I'm going to, because this was, like I said, my personal board, and there's only Flax on the bottom, I'm going to put a single layer of 4 ounce on the bottom just to give it a little extra protection.
And what is the weight of that Flax?
The Flax is 3.5 ounces.
Okay, I knew it was. I always thought it was a little bit more than that, but that's good to know.
Yeah, I mean, it sure seems stronger than just even a single 4 ounce.
Oh yeah.
But in saying that, the factory specs on it are 3.5 ounce. So not paper thin, but also like I said, each board is a different kind of work in progress, trying to figure out what's the right layup. But a light little layer of 4 ounce right over the bottom is a nice little security blanket that you're not going to just bump into a rock and all of a sudden you got foam.
You got a hole.
Yeah, you got foam exposed. And so similarly, going to do a layer on the deck, putting in the tail patches, putting the logos under the glass.
Really like those tail patches.
Yeah, those tail patches are cool.
That's basalt.
Yep, basalt and Flax, and we We get a lot of our alternative fabrics and reinforcements from Kola in Australia. They're really cool people to work with.
Yeah.
They're super on it. They've entertained all kinds of different ideas we've had. We've worked on them with custom unidirectional tape, custom patterns in the fabric, and they're just very open-minded, and they provide a really good product.
And when they send us a shipment, there's usually some new trippy stuff that they're working on in there as well.
Yeah, exactly. They're always nice to send a sample pack
Yeah.
for us to just see if we can make it work.
And most of it does.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is just 4 ounce over the deck of the board. And I mostly do that just to cap it all, but then as we'll talk about, sanding the board, you don't want to hit the flax because it's just it doesn't cut the same as fiberglass.
No, not at all. Even as hard as it gets, it still has a...
Yeah, it's got a fray to it
Yeah.
kind of when you hit it with the sandpaper. And just doing a little prep work before the hot coat. All that little prep work just seems to help get a cleaner finish.
Yeah, and then when you go to sand it, there's not so much to have to worry about.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just closer to the finished product.
Mm-hmm. And basically all of our boards, we will drop the leash cup in post lamination. We'll do the epoxy slightly different than the polyester. We're putting this in after we trim, if there's a trim, or after the lamination goes off and we're ready to hot coat. And so we'll do it right before the hot coat. And this is actually the baste, which is right before the hot coat. On epoxies, I've just found it's a lot easier to not hit weave and to get a better finish if you give it a little baste, a little extra on the rails and the lap, on the nose and the tail. And then here we are with our finished product. So it's just after saucing it, so it's got that nice sauce gleam.
Looks like a gloss coat.
Right.
Well done.
Yeah,
I think
thanks.
it went okay.
Yeah, I think so. And so we got the board right here. And like I said, it's been a year and a half or a little more. And you can
Nothing's
see
cherry.
it's still all in one piece.
Got a couple little dents in the deck, but you always were front foot heavy.
Right, exactly. The color work still holds up. It's not fading from the sun or the exposure. And yeah, it's just been a solid board. Like I said, I've taken it to Indonesia, taken it to Central America. It's been...
Is this the one that clipped you in the face?
Yeah, this is the one that clipped me in the face and cut me open pretty good. So, strong.
Yeah.
But it's been durable. I've only had one thing where I fell down and put my hip right along the stringer here and it cracked
Kind
it.
of sheared it.
But other than that, just little rail dings and dents here and there from bouncing off the rocks or in and out of the car.
But this has a hemp, a flax, and a 4 ounce.
Exactly. So yeah, there's a hemp.
And it's still light.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's a heavy board.
No, I just weighed it. It's about 6.5 pounds.
That's something that'll last years.
Well,
That's
right.
6.5 pounds.
Yeah, I wasn't going for
Ultralight.
Ultralight. I was going for durability, like we talked about, and we've achieved it so far. Like I said, I've rode this board in all kinds of places and conditions, and it's still lasting. The flax has been
It'll go through
interesting.
another winter.
The flax has been interesting to work with. I feel like it really just came into vogue earlier this year or was it last year?
Yeah,
When they had the David Rostovich, the electric acid surfboard test. All of a sudden people were like, ooh, flax. We've been lucky. We've been kind of on the
Cutting
forefront
edge.
of using this fabric.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing flax for quite a few years now.
Yeah, it started just with our pursuit of alternative and more sustainable materials. But it's exciting to be able to build more boards out of flax from customer requests because of the exposure it got on the mainstream media.
Yeah. No, I couldn't be happier with the way the whole thing is evolving.
Yeah, Absolutely. And these are all EcoBoard certified through the Sustainable Surf organization. Been working with them for 10 plus years
Yeah,
now.
over 10 years.
So that's really fun. You know, they help kind of coagulate all the people that are trying to build more sustainable surfboards, and they're just good supporters.
And there's always good ideas coming through that group of people.
Yeah, it's like a little community, and so you get little insights into what other people are doing, materials people are using, and a lot of it is trial and error. Ultimately,
It's all trial and error.
yeah,
basically.
exactly. Ultimately, our goal with sustainability and so building a sustainable surfboard is to have something as comparable to what's the industry standard. And so using materials that are just going to fall apart real quickly, that's just not in our
As
in our
we
broader
said,
vision.
It's just more stuff in the landfill.
Yeah, exactly. So using things that actually work, that are proven, and I can put under my feet, you put it under your feet. We have customers that trust us with it, and they really enjoy the product. And,
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone that gets one seems to be pretty satisfied.
Yeah,
I know because they're not coming back with complaints.
exactly. Proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too, son.
Thank you, guys.
Aloha.
See you next time.